Hans and Franz.
It's those years.
You rolling on that?
I'm rolling.
Okay, I'm rolling on this one.
Okay,
Ready?
we're rolling.
Okay, Duane, what did attract you to Social Venture Partners?
What attracted me to Social Venture Partners was I was doing a lot of work in the private equity investment area, and the concepts of doing the same types of things with social investments. The idea that we were looking at trying to take organizations and invest dollars and intellectual property, and ultimately it's all about leverage. So what really attracted me to SVP was the ability to leverage the funding that we put in, the talent that we had, the networks that our partners had. All that came together to leave the organizations that we were involved with much more sustainable and robust at the end of our funding cycle.
Dang, that's good. How long have you been involved with them?
It's an interesting question. How long have I been involved with SVP? I think I'm going into my 4th year, but it seems like forever because I've just been so captivated by what they do and the involvement, whether it's the social dynamics. We're here tonight celebrating our spring partner event, so there is a social event where we all get together and celebrate our successes. But the idea that we're actually engaged in making a difference in the community by taking all these different diverse perspectives. So as I said, 4 years, but heading towards 40.
Neat. How do you think SVP impacts people? From a partner's perspective, from an investee's perspective?
I really see SVP in terms of how they impact people. So there's the partner experience, there's the investee experience, and there's the community experience as well. I think it impacts people by having multiple points of engagement and really a facilitator and an advocacy role. And there's some new things that we're working on. I'm very proud of the success that SCF has had in its first 10 plus years of existence, but I'm very excited about what we're doing to reinvent SVP and be more relevant going forward. So it's finding a way to provide that leadership role, to provide connectivity, to provide networks, to provide opportunities for very busy people to find a way to contribute and make an impact on these organizations.
Do you have a personal story or anything that really touched your heart over these past 4 years with respect to SVP?
Well, one of the things I've been watching the YouTube channel and all these SVP partners talking about their moment of joy, and I'm telling you, it's only just begun. So I don't want to describe my engagement with SVP in a moment because I'm just so excited about what we're looking to do and what we're going to become in the future. We're looking for broader ways to engage the corporate, the philanthropic, and the nonprofit communities and really finding a way to tie those together. So I'm just so excited to be involved with an organization that has so much energy and has so much talent to be able to deploy and to have a small part in helping coordinate and align those resources to make a difference. It's very difficult when you look at the legislative environment and the economic environment that we have in Arizona today. Certainly there's a lot of struggles out there, but ultimately it's the leadership that comes from a grassroots level. And we've got a lot of very successful people in SVP, and we're connecting those to the organizations that are going to make a difference in the impact. So I just see this ever-expanding sphere of influence that SVP has. And that's what we all really aspire to, I think, is to leave a legacy. And what we can do as one person isn't all that significant until we touch other people and they start continuing to do that. And it has kind of that viral impact. So I really see the next 10 years of SVP as being a very exciting environment. If, yeah, people, yeah, the people want to join. They're calling me right now and wanting to join and be engaged in this. But you know, we're proud of what we've been, but I'm even prouder of what we're going to become, and the responsibility and the commitment we have to fulfill that role.
What does the future look like?
The future looks like innovative ways to really impact education and youth, and that's where I think we can really have a significant impact, because there are limited resources. But I was fortunate enough last week to attend an education innovation conference down at SkySong at ASU, and there's all sorts of technology that's available, and a lot of creativity. The problem with education is not a matter of the number of dollars that we spend, but how we spend those dollars. And I think by engaging other people that have different experiences, in that, you know, we can coordinate and maybe break some of the tradition and some of the historical models that were relevant and worked well at a time in the past, but aren't there today. And so we need to be able to apply that type of creativity and intellect to solve the problems of today without necessarily demanding a lot more dollars.
Has this experience taught you anything kind of that surprised you, that you didn't realize you would get out of it?
Well, I don't know that the SVP experience has taught me anything other than get involved and find something that allows you to follow your passion. It's, you know, it can be interesting to sit around and talk about what can be, but there's nothing like going out and actually doing it. And so that's what the experience, I guess, at SVP has taught me, is find a starting point. You know, you can dream big, but you got to start somewhere. And SVP is a great place to start, and it has really been a very fulfilling experience for me.
Cool. Okay, last thing is, how would you complete this sentence? Say, social venture partners is...
Social venture partners is a gateway to the future and an opportunity for leaders to emerge that can really make a difference in our community. Ultimately, it is that kind of grassroots movement that says we are all accountable for the community that we live in. Our legislators and our educators have a lot on their hands, and we really need to tie in and support them in creative and innovative ways. And that's what Social Venture Partners is. I think they're a gateway to the future.
Sweet. Yeah. Nice soundbite action.
Okay,
Awesome.
even,
Okay.
you know, with the phone.
Yeah, go for it.
The question about talents, how it brings talents together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think Social Venture Partners has tapped into your talents or allowed you to really expand and grow your own talents? Like, what things do you bring to the table that have blossomed?
Besides cross-dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so how has Social Venture Partners allowed my talents to blossom? I think it just has given me that forum. It has given me a community that has a lot of energy, a lot of very interesting and intriguing people. There's a lot of intellectual stimulation around talking to people that have some pretty innovative ideas. So it just is a forum that allows me to find that point of engagement.
Do you want to ask, like, in a more general way, how SVP utilizes people? Utilizes their talents? Like you were talking about, say maybe someone's good at marketing.
Yeah, I mean, do you, for him or for people in general? So if you were just talking to, you know, a potential partner, how might they apply their different talents across the organization? I mean, what opportunities are there inside SVP for them to, you know, find a niche that they excel at?
So how does SVP use people? You know, we kind of have an interesting structure, and there's a number of different ways to get involved. I was fortunate enough to be part of an investment committee shortly after I joined SVP. And as a result of that, I went through an evaluation cycle and said, well, which of these organizations are we going to fund over the next 5 years? And from there, I then became a lead partner and stuck with the particular nonprofit that we selected to invest in. And then we use those lead partners in these committees in terms of ways of understanding what individuals' areas of expertise are and reaching out to them directly saying, you know, maybe you don't have time to be involved in a broad aspect of SVP, but I know what you're good at, and this your talent would make a difference for this organization, or your talent would make a difference for this committee. So and you know, there's great leadership, whether it's on the board or Terry Wogan as our executive director, understanding what individual skill sets are and finding a way to allow these very busy and very successful people to come in and to have an impact in that and also respect their time.
So you could be a creative type, you could be a number cruncher, you could be a marketer, a fundraiser, any and all of those talents are attractive to SVP?
Yeah, I think we have such a diverse matrix of talent within the SVP partnership. And that's really been a key resource to capture that, inventory that, and to go to those people. And you know, a lot of times you'll find too is, hey, this is your specific area of expertise. Why don't you come in and help this organization? And once you sprinkle a little of the SVP magic dust on them, then they want to go deeper and they want to find other ways to engage and other ways to help those organizations. So it may start with a single point of focus in an area that you feel best at. And back to one of our earlier questions, and how has it helped me blossom? It's recognized that I have skills that maybe I didn't realize were some of my core sets or some of the ways I'd market myself, but as a result of having a broader engagement with the nonprofits or the board of SVP, people look at you and say, hey, that's a pretty good idea. So you know, you get a lot of those warm fuzzies and good feelings about helping people and making a difference in the community.
Sweet. Cool. Nice.
And then, you know, then you get to sit in a room. You know, the other thing too is you get to sit in a room with the two hottest babes in SCF Arizona, you know, and that, and talk about warm fuzzies, you know. You know.
I'm telling you.
So we're in trouble with you.
Okay, Richard.